Hey friends, it's Gloria and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be reacting to the GOODREADS Choice Awards. We have been patiently awaiting, us readers, for those that use GOODREADS, for these awards. Yes, they're not perfect. They're usually just a popularity contest, but it's still fun. It's just fun to see what GOODREADS has. And I have not looked at them yet. I've been staying away from GOODREADS, so I'm going to use my phone today, screen record, I'll have it up here on the side, and you'll just get to see me react to what the options are. For those that aren't aware, I guess I should say GOODREADS is a platform, a social media platform run by Amazon where people can track their reading. They can mark books that they've read or that they want to read. They can look up books and information on there. I've been using it since about 2014, I think. I also started using Storygraph, which is a fantastic alternative if you aren't using GOODREADS anymore, but I still like GOODREADS for the user base of it. It is such a large platform, and so there's just more reviews and content and book editions in there and that kind of stuff. I also wanted to say that I've always wanted to read like a category of all the GOODREADS Choice Awards, for example, in historical fiction, most likely. But every time of year when this rolls around, I always feel like I do not have enough time to read the group of books in that category, because for the most part, I haven't read most of the books that are in each category. I'm very curious what it's going to be like this year, because I've read quite a lot of new releases, but who knows if they'll be nominated or not. I definitely think there's going to be some popular books in most categories that I have heard of before, but I haven't read and that I don't have any interest in reading. So I guess we'll see about that. I'm going to react to all of the categories, but my main ones that I'm most interested in is historical fiction and nonfiction, general fiction, and maybe graphic novels. So let's just do it. I'm gonna go ahead and start recording. And the top thing is choose wisely, announcing the 14th annual GOODREADS Choice Awards. Help choose the best books of the year. So this is the opening round. There's going to be a final round and then the short list of the winners. Wait, I don't want to see the nominees on my shelf. I only have 2 nominees on your shelves. Wow, this is going to be really hard to vote for then, because I have not read Magnolia Palace. That's on my to-read shelf. Thank you for listening. I did read and didn't really love. Let's start with fiction, I guess. All right, let's see about all of these. See, this is the kind of thing where I'm not really interested in popular fiction. Out of this list, I just hauled True Biz, but I'm gonna unhaul it because I don't think I'm gonna like it. Our Missing Hearts, I have the audiobook waiting for me in Libro FM. I've read both of Celeste Ng's books and have not really loved them, so I don't know about this one. This is like a near future post-apocalyptic one. I'm really not interested in any of these other books. Mad Honey, maybe I would read just for the title, because you know I like to read books with bees and honey. Demon Copperhead, I also have waiting for me on Libro FM because of the advanced listening copy program that they have for influencers. So I do have that one waiting for me, but I feel like I kind of want to read David Copperfield first, which who knows when that's gonna happen. And then Remarkably Bright Creatures, I did read, but I don't want to vote for it because I did not like it at all. So this is the only one in the category that I have read and I don't like it, so I'm not gonna vote for it. And also Notes on an Execution, I've heard great things about, so maybe I would read that one. All right, let's see, Best Mystery and Thriller. I don't really read any mystery and thrillers, so have not read any of these. Violent Conspiracy, I've heard kind of good things about. Oh, The Maid. I have read that one and I really love The Maid. So that's the one I'm gonna vote for. It's weird that it wasn't a book on my shelves. Anyways, voting for The Maid. Let's see, Best Historical Fiction. All right, The Diamond Die, knew was gonna be on here. Kate Quinn's books are always on here. I have the book. I recently hauled it. I plan to read it this winter. I don't know if I'll read it by the end of the year, but I do want to read it. Magnolia Palace, I've heard great things about. Ooh, Lessons in Chemistry. I read that. I loved it. It was really fun. Four Treasures of the Sky, I also read and I didn't really love. And I knew The Marriage Portrait was going to be on here. Go Tell the Bees That I'm Gone, I do want to read, but that's going to take me a while. I knew Carrie Soto was going to be on here, but I don't care about Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've heard good things about Black Cake. And I did read The Book Woman's Daughter. That's weird though that the beginning said I only have 2 books, 2 nominees on my shelves, because I have a lot more. I've read a lot more of these. So out of these, I've read 1, well, not that many, I guess. 3. I've read 3 of the historical fiction books, and I have interest in reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have interest in reading 5, but definitely out of these, Lessons in Chemistry was my favorite. I really had fun with that one. All right, fantasy. I don't read fantasy, so I'm probably not even gonna know. I mean, I know these titles just because people talk about them, but definitely not, have not read any of them, so don't feel qualified to vote for them. I feel like Legends and Lattes is gonna win though, because people love it, or maybe Stephen King because he's popular and he always wins. Best romance. Now, I also don't really read a lot of romance, but surprisingly, I have read Part of Your World. I have read Thank You for Listening. And I have read Book Lovers. So look at me. I've read 3 of the romance genre ones. All 3 of these I gave 3 stars. It's Part of Your World, Thank You for Listening, and Book Lovers. And then I think out of the 3, Book Lovers was probably my favorite. Thank You for Listening was definitely my least favorite. So I'm gonna vote for Book Lovers. Why not? Sorry, there's just like a lot of back and forth on your screen. All right, sci-fi. I also don't read sci-fi. I know The Measure is getting lots of love this year. So is How High We Go in the Dark and Sea of Tranquility. I really liked Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I could not get into The Glass Hotel, and I just had no interest in reading Sea of Tranquility because it's like weird time travel book, and I'm like, not about me. Upgrade also probably is getting lots of love because it's Blake Crouch. I haven't read any of these. I'm not gonna vote. Best horror, also a genre that I do not read. Yeah, don't know. I mean, maybe The Hacienda is the only one that I have properly heard of before, but I'm not gonna vote because I don't read horror. Humor, don't read much humor books either. Like, don't really follow comedians. I literally have not heard of really any of these. I guess the only one that I would have interest in reading is The Office BFFs, Tales of the Office from Two Best Friends Who Were There. I did watch The Office with my husband. It's not like an all-time favorite show like it is for many, but it was fun. But yeah, I'm not gonna vote. I haven't read for any of those. Best nonfiction. Okay, let's see about this one. Bittersweet. I feel like that makes sense if that's on there, but I have not read it. Brene Brown, that makes sense. Wow, I really haven't read any of these. Sad. I really thought I was maybe gonna vote for one in here, because I read a lot of nonfiction, but no, have not read a single nonfiction that's nominated this year. I am interested in reading All the Living and the Dead, From Embalmers to Executioners, an exploration of the people who have made death their life's work by Haley Campbell. I recently saw Annie McNulty read that, and I think rate it 5 stars. I really enjoyed When Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty, and so I feel like that one would be one that I am interested in. But to be honest, with the other ones, I'm not that interested in reading. Maybe A Taste for Poison, An Immense World. I don't know, that looks like a BBC documentary cover on like Netflix. All right, best memoir and autobiography. Maybe I have read a few memoirs. The one that I am anticipating is on here is I'm Glad My Mom Died, because that book everyone is talking about. So far, oh, Friends, Lovers, and The Big Terrible Thing. I have read Madly Deeply, The Diaries of Alan Rickman. I haven't read, would maybe want to. I don't know much about him outside of Harry Potter. I've heard good things about Uncultured. Of course, there's I'm Glad My Mom Died. I'm actually currently reading it. Finding Me by Viola Davis, I did read. I have interest in reading Funny Farm because that just sounds really fun. And the other ones, maybe not so much. But, okay, out of Finding Me, I'm Glad My Mom Died, and Friends, Lovers, and The Big Terrible Thing, those are the 3 that I have read or am reading. And I have an hour left of I'm Glad My Mom Died, so I feel like I got the gist of that book. Ooh, that's kind of close. It's tough. I'm pretty sure I'm Glad My Mom Died is gonna win. That one is just blown up the internet and like everything, so I feel like that one's definitely gonna win. But I'm gonna vote for Friends, Lovers, and The Big Terrible Thing because I really enjoyed his read, and it takes a lot for a person to be that vulnerable about his experience with drug addiction. So that's the one I'm gonna vote for. Best history and biography, The Scandalous Hamiltons. Ooh, that kind of sounds fun. I have not heard of that book before. I feel like I would read that. Wise Gals, also maybe would read that. An Abraham Lincoln book. Kind of interested in that. The Dark Queens, I really have not read much about like the medieval time period, so would be interested. The Escape Artist, The Man Who Broke Out of Auschwitz to Warn the World. That sounds good. Wow, a lot of Nazi books. I mean, not totally surprised because that part of history is saturated, but have not read or heard of any of these really at all. But there's definitely some on this list that I would be interested in reading. At least like 3 or 4 of these I feel like sound interesting, but I'm not gonna vote because I haven't read them. Ooh, right, best graphic novels. Messy Roots. Okay, I've heard of that one. I guess it's interesting that these are all put together, nonfiction and fiction. I feel like the big one I'm hearing about is Ducks, and then of course everyone loves Heartstopper, but I haven't read any of these, so I'm not gonna vote. I would be interested in reading Ducks. That's probably the only one I'm interested in reading. Best poetry. Yeah, don't read much poetry at all. Not going to vote, but I just like looking at what's here. Oh, I did read oh no, I didn't read. I read her poem last year. I feel like maybe Ocean Vuong will win because he is very beloved and popular. Best debut novel. All right. Yes, Lessons in Chemistry. Probably would vote for that one. Ooh, or The Maid. All right, so out of this list, I've read the two. Ooh, what did I love more, The Maid or Lessons in Chemistry? Those two are very similar to me though. I even compared them in a video where like, if you like this book, read this book. They're very different, but same at the same time. And that made no sense. But you know what I mean? Like they just have very similar energy and they're very like a quirky main character. But I think I like Lessons in Chemistry a little bit more than The Maid. So I'm gonna vote for that one. Best YA. I don't read YA, so... Oh, I Must Betray You by Ruta Sepetys. I have read one and I loved it. So that's definitely the one I'm voting for out of this list. Ruta Sepetys can do no wrong. This historical fiction about Romania was excellent. So I voted for that. YA fantasy. Yeah, definitely don't read any of this stuff. So... I've heard good things about The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea and A Magic Steeped in Poison. So I would be interested in reading those two, maybe. But let's be honest, I don't really read fantasy and sci-fi. I maybe need to try more of that. I read actually quite a bit of middle grade, I feel like, kind of. But I don't pay attention to new middle grade. I only read older middle grade. Yeah, haven't read any of these. I think that's it. I'm just gonna go to the main page. Oh, I guess now it shows other nominees. Okay, that's weird. I don't know what that little section was. That's kind of strange. So those are my initial thoughts and reactions on the Goodreads Choice Awards. I guess as predicted, a lot of those I have not read before and probably have no really intention on reading. I think the category that I maybe would read the most from would be historical fiction. And even then, a lot of them I'm not really interested in reading. So I don't think that I'll probably do the whole like reading all of the historical fiction Goodreads Choice Awards nominees. I've always wanted to make a video like that, but it's not gonna happen this year. Just because a lot of those I don't even want to read. So I'm not gonna force myself to just for a video. And then I guess I'm just slightly surprised that I had not heard of a lot of the nonfiction, like biography and history sections. I feel like I've kept my, you know, is it nose to the ground, ears to the ground or something on new releases this year. And I had not heard of really any of them. So that's curious, but a lot of them sound interesting, so maybe I'll put some on my want to read list. So yeah, that's me. That was fun. Let me know what you think. Are you on Goodreads? Do you follow the Goodreads Choice Awards? Are you surprised with this year's nominees? Who did you vote for? Let me know any thoughts down below. And this was a bit of a different video, so I hope you liked it. And I will see you guys in another video soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.